As nurse practitioners, there's so many different opportunities out there. And in school, they tell you to focus in on specializing, or they tell you to focus in on working for someone else. But what they don't tell you is why you need to start your own private practice. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over 5 reasons why you should start your own private practice as a nurse practitioner. So stay tuned. Welcome back to the channel, LifeofaPsychNP. If you are new to this channel, let me formally introduce myself. I'm Darty. I'm a board-certified psychiatric nurse practitioner, and in this channel, I go over several different subjects to educate the public about mental health, ways to improve your lifestyle, topics related to nursing, nurse practitioners, and specifically psychiatric nurse practitioners like myself. So if you are interested in any of these topics, feel free to subscribe. Make sure you like this video because it helps me out so much with the algorithm, and follow me on Instagram at LifeofaPsychNP. So you probably clicked this video because you're interested in finding out why you should start your own private practice today. Whether you're a FNP, Psych NP, Peds NP, Women's Health NP, or whatever specialty you're in as a nurse practitioner, there's so many different opportunities out there. And in this video, I wanted to shed light on this topic because they don't tell you about this in school. Yes, having your own private practice is great, but sometimes it's not for everyone. But at the same reason, we need to make sure we can share information out there on maybe why you should start it. And in this video, I'm going to be going over 5 reasons why you should start your private practice today. But in another video, I'm going to go over why you shouldn't start your own private practice, but it just all depends. And if you're interested in starting your own private practice, I'm going to link down below our actual course that I made with 2 other NPs, Psych NPs, that we break down how to start your private practice from day 1 all the way to starting your practice and getting it started in less time. So you definitely want to check that out, especially if you're interested. There's a promo going on right now because in 2 weeks it's actually going to go up in price, so you want to make sure you get it today. So without further ado, let's go over my 5 reasons on why you should start your own private practice today. So let's go. So the very first reason, which is pretty common on why you should start your own private practice today, especially different specialties, is improving accessibility for patients. And at the end of the day, we go into this business, or we go into being a nurse or a nurse practitioner because we want to be able to, 1, improve accessibility to care, and 2, to improve patient healthcare outcomes, right? And at the end of the day, this is the reason why, especially if you're in a rural area and there's wait times of this length, and sometimes it takes over a year just to be able to see someone in a certain specialty. Why not start your own private practice today so you can improve the accessibility for patients to get the care that they need and maybe the care that they want? Whether you're in psych, yes, there's so many areas where there's not psych available. Whether it's being able to be in a specialty with doing cosmetic things, maybe there's not as much availability out there. So definitely think about the area you're in, and definitely think about what you can provide and how you're going to be able to provide it, because if there's not that many providers out there, why not do it? Not only is it going to benefit the patient, but it's also going to benefit your business. So definitely think about that. So the second reason on why you should start your own private practice today is the work-life balance. So you have to think about your work-life balance. If you're working for someone else, they decide on how many things are going to happen, whether what your patients you're going to treat, the type of patients you're going to treat, your hours, your schedule. They decide upon majority of that, especially if you're an employee. Maybe as an independent contractor, not really as much, but at the same time, they're still gonna dictate your hours and determine that, and you have to figure out how to balance that, your work and your lifestyle. But when you do have your own practice, you're your own boss, meaning you get to decide upon when you want to work and how you want to work, what hours you want to work, and you get to decide on what days you want to take off to be able to improve your lifestyle. Maybe you want to be able to go to the gym in the morning because that helps with your overall mood. Then you can set a time aside to go to the gym in the morning and start later. Or maybe you know you do better because you want to get all of the things done during the early hours and be able to focus in on patients in the latter hours. Then you're going to start later and see patients later. Or maybe you want to be able to drop off your kids in the morning and be able to pick them up. So you're able to start later, see your patients, end earlier, pick up your kids, come back, and maybe do a few more hours, or be able to drop them off somewhere, or just go anywhere and not work the latter hours. It all depends on you, especially when you're looking at starting your own private practice. It's not always about making large amounts of money. It's about being able to balance that work and your lifestyle, right? So if you know you just want to be able to make a certain amount and work as little to minimal hours because you want to be able to be there for your kids, then this is an opportunity for you to do so. So think about your work-life balance and think about how you can improve upon that, and now think about all the opportunities as a boss, as a private practice owner, and how you can be able to implement that into your own life. It's an awesome thing, and I think it's a wonderful thing to think about. So the third reason on why you should start your own private practice today as a nurse practitioner is you get to treat your patients the way you want to treat them. Not based off of what someone else is telling you, but based off of how you want to treat it. Yes, there are certain states where you have to be able to abide by your standardized procedures and abide by certain things that your collaborative or supervising physician want you to do it, and those are primarily those restricted states. But for the independent states, yes, you're going to abide by the rules from what your board of registered nurses are telling you to do, but for the most part, you get to treat them how you want to treat them. You get to understand and develop certain protocols on how you want to treat them. Say, for example, in a psych practice, if you want to implement 50% therapy and 50% medication management, you're able to do so. If you want to do 75% therapy and 25% medication management, you're able to do so. You get to dictate how you want to see patients and when you want to see patients and how you want to be able to treat them, and not have to worry so much about someone looking over you, whether it's another nurse practitioner or whether it's an MD or DO or just that physician that's just constantly looking at how you're doing things, when you're going to be able to now, as your private practice owner, dictate how you want to treat them, what kind of treatment plan you feel is going to benefit the patient, and how you're going to be able to implement this, and maybe even being able to see them more often as opposed to being bound by what your boss is telling you to do. So maybe, for example, you want to see this patient every single week, then you can do so. Maybe you want to see them every month, then you can do so. It's your decision on how you want to treat it, and I think just being able to have that decision-making power, it makes a world of a difference, especially when two, think about your work-life balance, and 3, the stress and accessibility to care. It's an amazing thing, and it's something that honestly you need to think about, because being able to make these decisions and being able to control how you treat patients will make a world of a difference on your happiness, on your patient's happiness, and their ability to get the care. And it's definitely something you need to think about, especially if you're on the cusp of wanting to start your own private practice. So the fourth reason on why you should start your own private practice as a nurse practitioner is you get to be innovative with your practice, meaning you can implement certain things that other practices might not have. So for example, in psych, you get to implement ketamine, you maybe get to implement TMS, and you get to implement all these other alternative methods for treatment instead of just purely medication management or just purely therapy. You get to implement everything. And in psych in particular, because that's my realm, is I know a lot of these practices heavily rely on medication management, but what you're starting to notice is these practices that are starting to become up and coming are implementing certain things like TMS, maybe ketamine assisted therapy, or maybe implementing more psychotherapy instead of just purely medication management. And these are the things that you can do, which kind of goes into play of the third reason on you get to do you get to implement how you want to treat the patient. And this is the same thing, or pretty similar, because you get to start to decide on how you want to implement things. I know some nurse practitioners out there that are FNPs that are implementing some psychiatry into their regular FNP practice, their family medicine or their general practice clinic. They're hiring on some Psych NPs to be able to implement psychotherapy and implement psychiatric medication management. And now they're also implementing other things like the TMS. And it's just a growing opportunity, and you get to do all of these things instead of just being bound to just treating maybe your urgent care patients or maybe just treating your family medicine patients. You get to do all of these things and be creative with it. I know another nurse practitioner that's implementing like medicine, like being able to, well, obviously we're treating medicine, but they're implementing like physical therapy, they're implementing exercise science into their family medicine practice and starting to see crazy outcomes. And I think just being able to do so and just being creative with this and innovative with this is going to do so much wonders for your patients, and it's just going to be doing wonders for your practice because you're doing something new outside of the box that many people aren't thinking about. So definitely think about it. So my fifth and final reason on why you should start your own private practice as a nurse practitioner is you get to be your own boss. And a lot of the reasons that I mentioned from the very beginning to now kind of complement this reason, but I wanted to make this a huge pointer and save it for the last one because it's important to recognize, because you are your own boss. You get to become your own boss. You get to dictate a lot of the things going on into your practice. You get to decide your hours. You get to decide where you want to practice, how you want to practice, the way you want to treat patients, what you want to implement into practice, and ultimately build off of that. It's going to keep on growing. Yes, there's going to be a lot of work that you need to put in early on, which you might have to work way more hours, but once you get the ball rolling, then it can create so many different opportunities, not only one for yourself, but for your patients. And at the end of the day, we want to make sure we can provide them with the highest quality care possible. But how are you going to provide the highest quality care possible if you're restricted to what you can do for your patients, how you can do certain things for your patients, and if they don't even have practices in that area or having to wait for such long periods of time, how are you going to be able to provide that? And as nurse practitioners, this is the main reason we wanted to be able to go into our role, is to provide advanced practice care for our patients and provide high quality care for our patients and improve accessibility because of the shortages within the physician realm. But we're able to do that now. And the more people that are looking at starting their own private practice, the more opportunities we have in order for them to gain help towards being able to improve others' lifestyles and improve your lifestyle, because we don't want to constantly have to depend on someone else to bring in the check when you can depend on yourself to be able to do so. And by being your own boss, you're able to allow patients to get the care that they need. You're able to allow yourself to get a schedule or have a schedule that's going to complement your own life with your children, your family, your loved ones. You're going to be able to do that and be able to provide ultimately the highest quality of care possible. And I think by having your own private practice, especially for those really, really experienced NPs out there, you definitely need to think about it, because yes, it's hard in the beginning, and like I said, you have to put up a lot of work up front, but if you eventually do those little things to get you there, it'll create something huge. And that's what I did personally, and that's what my other two NPs did personally that we created the course with, is they were able to slowly build up their practice from having a few patients here and there throughout the week to now being able to have a full-time practice. For myself, like I said, I have three other NPs, so I have two full-timers, one part-time. So I do have four actually. So two full-timers, two part-timers, and myself, so total of 5 NPs working. We have 2 therapists, we have 2 physicians that are helping us out, and it's a crazy thing. And I never thought I would get here, but the lifestyle balance, I'm able to go to my kids' games, I'm able to drop them off at school, I'm able to pick them up from school, I'm able to take them to appointments if they need to go to appointments, I'm able to go to their soccer games, taekwondo after school, and all of these things. And these things wouldn't have been possible, especially if I didn't open up my own private practice, because now I'm only working 2 days in my private practice while all the other people are working and seeing patients. And Yes, there's not that many bosses out there, but I do offer them the flexibility with so many different things. But for the most part, I'm able to decide on a lot of these things because I have my private practice. Obviously, this is an exhaustive list of all the reasons why you should start your own private practice, but I felt like these were important ones to talk about, and maybe I'll make a part 2, who knows, but definitely think about it. And if you are interested in starting your own private practice, especially if you're a Psych NP and starting an outpatient or Telepsych private practice, I'm definitely going to link my course down below, especially for those interested in doing Telepsych private practices. I'm going to link it down below. I'm going to give you a special discount for you guys, and definitely check it out. And if you're on the cusp and you're trying to decide whether you should, do it. And if this isn't convincing enough, message me, contact me, reach out to me, and I'll be more than welcome to help you out. We can do a consultation call for me to assist you through that and eventually get you to where you want to get to in life, and I think it's going to be wonderful. Alrighty guys, I hope you had a wonderful time watching this video. I hope it was able to shed light on maybe convincing you to start your own private practice, but go ahead and watch my next video and stay tuned for that video, because I'm going to be going over reasons why you shouldn't start your own private practice and what to look for, especially if you're wanting to start your own private practice. But check out my link down below. If you know that you're willing to put in the work, you're willing to do all the things, start it today, because you won't regret it, and I promise you that. Well guys, have a wonderful day. Until next time, bye!